Hi, welcome to Seed Garden Training, where seed stands for something to eat every day. My name is Jonathan Libag, and now we're going to learn about the use of organic fertilizer. What is organic fertilizer? What are the different kinds of organic fertilizers that we can use in our garden? On this lesson, we will also learn how to prepare or make our own simple organic fertilizers. Organic fertilizers produced through a process known as composting. The process involves the decomposition of plant and animal materials into organic matter or humus through the action of soil microbes and other organisms. A fertile soil is the key to growing healthier vegetables and fruits. As opposed to synthetic fertilizers, organic fertilizers can do so much wonder for the soil. Decaying organic matter is how plants are fed in nature. What are the benefits of using organic fertilizers? Let us look at this biological, physical, and chemical effect on using organic fertilizer. On the biological effect, the soil composed of many beneficial microorganisms responsible for making the nutrients available for plants to absorb. By frequent use of organic fertilizers, these microorganisms will increase its population, thus improves the soil structure. When more beneficial microorganisms are in the soil, the more nutrients there will be in the soil. On the physical effect, using organic fertilizers, it promotes water retention. It prevents soil cracking and thereby improves internal drainage of the soil. This means that there will be enough water for the plants for a longer period of time without drying so quickly. Organic fertilizers also helps prevent soil erosion. When you have a type of soil that is heavy clay, add a lot of organic fertilizer to improve its texture, and the soil will become soft that water can penetrate freely, as well as roots of the plants can grow faster. On the chemical effect, organic fertilizer contain acids that can improve plant roots to absorb more water and nutrients from the soil. Organic fertilizers can dissolve minerals within the soil, leaving them available for plant roots. Our plants need all kinds of nutrients they need to grow and develop fruits. Organic fertilizers not only add nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, or NPK, in the soil, but also micronutrients like magnesium, manganese, boron, calcium, and others. Consuming vegetables or food raised organically means we also consume more nutrients needed for our health. What are the different kinds of organic fertilizer? First, the animal manure. It is the dung or urine of an animal, particularly farm animals, such as cattle, buffaloes, goats, sheep, and chicken. Animal manure is a complete fertilizer, meaning there is a high percent of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, or NPK. It also contains high number of beneficial microorganisms. Another kind of organic fertilizer is the azolla. Azolla is a kind of aquatic fern that is widely used as organic fertilizer because of its nitrogen-fixing capability. This means that the azolla can absorb nutrients from the air and water and can be converted into a nitrogen source for the plant when applied to soil. Another kind of organic fertilizer is the guano. Guano is probably the best and most expensive organic fertilizer. Guano is the dried droppings of bats and birds, normally found in the forest, sea cliff, and caves. Mulch is also one of the kind of organic fertilizer. Mulch such as wood chips, rice straw, and dried leaves. When decomposed, it will be converted into fertilizer. These materials will be placed on soil surface to conserve soil moisture, regulate soil temperature. These materials will be placed on soil surface to conserve soil moisture, regulate soil temperature, and control weeds. Another kind of organic fertilizer is the green manure. Green manure is a cover crop such as grass, clover, and other nitrogen-rich plant grown in the garden to add nutrients and organic matter. We learned different kinds of organic fertilizers. Now we're going to learn and demonstrate to you the process or methods of making organic fertilizers. Compost. Compost is decomposed organic materials such as biodegradable trash or garbage, kitchen leftovers, and even dried leaves. There are several ways on how to do composting. Heap composting. A compost heap is a collection of compost materials laid on top of each other. This is a good example of compost heap. We can use wood, bamboos, chicken wire, or any materials available in your area. It is more manageable if you construct our compost heap at 3 cubic meter or 3 feet height by 3 feet wide. Length can vary depending on the amount of materials to be used. On this composting, there are two major materials, the leaves and animal manure. Leaves should be chopped into smallest size as you can. If you are using dried leaves, such as rice straw, you need to soak it for 5 days before making into a compost heap. We can use dried or fresh animal manure. Use manure only from farm animals such as cattle, buffalo, goat, sheep, horse, pigs, and chicken, provided these animals were fed organically. Aside from leaves and animal manure, we can also add some ash to add potash and a small amount of soil. The amount of leaves and animal manure should be equal. After we prepared all the materials needed, it is time for us to put them on top of each other. First, let us lay down the leaves, then the animal manure. We can put handful of ash and soil, then put the leaves on top. Put animal manure again and handful of ash and soil. Repeat this process until it reaches the 3 feet height. Pour water on top of the compost heap until it runs down at the bottom. Make sure all the materials are wet. Always remember that in composting, we need the aid of microorganisms for the process, and microorganisms need a lot of moisture. Make sure that your compost heap is always wet during the process. It may take up to 3 months before you can harvest your compost. After pouring water, the compost heap needs to be covered. We can use tarps or even empty sacks or black plastics. This will prevent from rain and too much sunlight. Even a stack of old car tires can be recycled and used to make a heap, but effective compost heap. Rapid composting. To make a rapid composting, you need to mix the compost regularly every 7 days. After mixing, you need to pour water and cover again. If you do this process, you can harvest your compost in about 3 to 6 weeks. Peat composting. Second method of composting is the peat composting. It is like the heap composting. The only difference is that materials were laid in layers in the peat. You can prepare the peat by digging the soil up to 3 feet deep and 3 feet wide. Prepare the leaves and animal manure in equal amount. Put these materials in layers until the pit is filled up. First lay down the leaves, then the animal manure. We can also put some handful of ash and soil in between. Repeat this process until you reach at the top of the pit. Pour large amount of water, then cover it with soil on top. It may take 3 to 5 months to harvest the compost. Basket composting. There are some kinds of composting right in the middle of the garden bed. These are easy to manage as well as easy to harvest. Nutrients from the compost are directly available for the plants around them. Let us begin with the basket composting or making compost basket. We can use wood, bamboos, or any local available materials in making compost basket. We can make these in the middle of the garden bed. The size of this compost basket is 1 foot height and 1 foot in diameter. Begin by digging the soil in the middle of the garden bed into 6 inches depth. For this demonstration, we are using bamboo stick with 15 inches length at approximately 2 inches width. After digging and making a hole at about 6 inches deep, place the bamboo stick around it. Leave 6 inches height above the soil level. We can put kitchen waste like vegetable leaves and fruits inside the compost basket. We can also put the weeds that we pulled out from our garden. We can also add some dried animal manure. Avoid putting some meat or animal waste products and also any cooked food inside the compost basket. This will prevent from insects and other intruders like ants that can kill our plants. While watering our plants, we can pour water at the compost basket and let its nutrients flow into the roots of the plants. Trench composting. Trench composting is a composting method available at the middle of the garden bed. It is quite similar to the basket composting, where we can put biodegradable materials like fruits and vegetable peelings and even dried animal manure into the trench. On this composting, a trench will be put at the center of the garden bed. First, we need to prepare local materials like bamboos and make a stick or slabs. Dig around 6 inches deep with 1 foot wide and 5 feet long, or it depends on the size of your garden bed. This is how we build our compost trench. After digging the soil at the center of the garden bed, we put the bamboo stick with a size of 15 inches long around the trench. Then the long bamboo stick is placed on the side of the trench until it reaches on the top. Compost trench should be 1 foot height. This means 6 inches below and 6 inches above the soil level. Put composting materials such as leaves, weeds, fruit and vegetable waste inside the compost trench and allow it to be decomposed. Whenever you water your plants, put ample water to your compost trench as well. In this way, we allow nutrients from the compost to flow into the roots of our plants.